Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, I love that intro. Yeah. What's going on?
What's
It's another live episode of A Different Day with Ja. We have a special guest co-host, and it fits. We got the apostle in the building. Say what's up.
I'm not playing with you. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing today? It's your favorite mainlander, Ray.
We got the apostle in the building on this beautiful Sunday. I gonna call her that until she gets sick of the name and cuss me out, but it fits, right? How are you feeling this beautiful Sunday?
You know what? I'm feeling good, feeling blessed. A lot of peace, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. Had a very relaxing weekend, a very fun-filled weekend. I still have friends that were celebrating me for my birthday, so I got out and had some fun. You know what I mean?
Nice. What'd you get into this weekend?
So I did live music on Thursday. On Friday, I had gone to this DJ. You know how they do, like the DJs do the mixes, but the people wear like a certain shade of brown, kind of a vibe. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool. So I went there with some girlfriends to celebrate another friend's birthday. And then after that, of course, you know, anything about Detroit, you got to do that 1 a.m. run to get some to get a corned beef sandwich. So I definitely
sandwich. That's your thing. Corned beef sandwich.
Or go to Coney Island. Go to Coney Island. You know, you never heard of Coney Island.
I heard of Coney Island in New York.
Okay, let me tell you real quick. Coney Island in Detroit is different restaurants that make a lot of different varieties of food. They do a whole breakfast menu. They'll do like chili cheese fries, chili dogs, wingdings, fries, pitas, gyros, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff. So it's a vibe. It's good. You go there. It will remind you like of just a more well-versed, I'm not gonna even say a more well-versed Waffle House, but I just feel like it's better. If you from Detroit, then you know, like that stuff be slapping. What we talking about?
I don't know. Waffle House is you know what you're gonna get, except for the price, except for your bill. Like you know what you're gonna get, because that bill gonna be different every time you go. But you know the food, no matter where, it's gonna taste the same. It's gonna be nice, greasy, and ratchet.
100%. Yeah. If you walk up in there and you don't hear, you know, the waitress at the desk saying, "Find a place to sit," that's not the way you want to be inside of.
Some trap music. I don't know in Michigan why I get house music, juke music. What I get?
We do. We have house music up here, but we don't have a Waffle House up here. For us to have Waffle House, we got to go to another state. Yeah, we don't have
at all.
We got Coney Islands. We don't need that.
Yeah, nah. You still need a Waffle House. So. You still need one.
It would be helpful, but it's not really a necessity. I just feel like if it's one thing I wish that we had down on Island, is I wish that we had like a 24-hour, like a little bit of everything kind of spot that you can always get some good food. It's like everything closes at 8:00 down there.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a problem, because like after a certain time you just can't get hungry, or you know what I'm saying? So that is problematic back home in the Virgin Islands. And you know what I mean? You'd be wanting a late night eatery. Shout out to certain places. I don't know if I could even promote them, but certain places that you could go because they have food happening there because it's an event, right? So shout out to that. But we need to look into some late night spots, right? Because there was nothing. There really is nothing in there.
I'm telling you, when I say there's nothing, and again, it's one of those things that you just got to know people that know people that know people to know where to go if you want something, or you're going to have to get it early and then just take it back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? You definitely want some late night eats sometimes. You know what? And it's the audacity for me, for all the parties to say that they start at 9:00, but they really don't start until midnight or like 1 a.m. You got the nerve.
Yeah.
Got the nerve not to get until like 4 a.m. and then there's no place to go eat. That's crazy. What's happening here?
Even that day, late night food trucks would slap. Yes, some late night food trucks. If you're listening, man, go ahead and look into it. I don't know if there's some rules as to why we don't have late night food trucks in the VI to get the late night crowd, but we need more of it. Chivonne said late night Quench and Jen's food truck.
Okay, I've never had that before. I'm gonna have to try it.
All right, but keep it locked right here on the number one station in the U.S. Virgin Islands, 101.3 Raw FM. We'll be right back with more, a different day with Ja and Raven.
Peace.
I said have to be profitable, like as late as people be out. What do you mean?
I mean,
they're gonna be profitable. We're gonna be outside.
It would be. And by the way, hey Darren, I saw you say hey to me. Hey D. I just feel like if you know you pulled up to places where people drinking, that's an automatic. Even if the only thing that you had outside was you just grilled wings, or you made different sausages or hot dogs or whatever, you would make money. Guaranteed make money. 2 + 2 on Saturday night.
I here waiting for the text whether we sounding good on the radio or not. 2 + 2 on certain nights. Listen, big up 2 + 2 because their wings and fries top notch, top tier. Shout out to them. You been there?
Yep.
You say yeah?
Yep.
Uh-oh, I guess I experienced Wayne too late. All right, we gonna move on.
We gonna move on.
I remember
I always give a place another chance. I'll give it another chance, but I'm just like,
nah, I don't give other chances. That man was broke and would start arguments and storm out to avoid paying their food. You know, talk about culture shock. When I went home, right, I said, let me take my sister out to eat just quick. So in the States, IHOP is not rich people food. And I said, hey, let me go to IHOP when it was open. And my sister was like, oh, you got money. You balling. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? But apparently, you had money if you were going IHOP.
Let me tell you something. But you talk about IHOP. The question is, have you ever had OHOP?
I'm sorry?
Original House of Pancakes. OHOP.
Original House. No, because this is my first time hearing about it.
Man, you want to talk about a consistent food experience? OHOP, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Have you guys ever heard of OHOP? Because I know,
it would be known as. It technically would be called House of Original Pancakes.
Okay, that's different. Now, IHOP, when it was the International House of Pancakes, that could not be beat. When they spelled it out, that was different.
Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. If you had a original House of Pancakes around you, you would definitely say that IHOP is a negative 10 out of 10. Even Jendai knows. Even she knows.
I'm not talking about IHOP. I'm talking about the International House of Pancake. When it spelled it out and it had them Belgian waffles and like it specialized in it. Like that's different. But OHOP, I feel like you're making this up.
I am not. I'm not making this up. I just want to say this for record. I'm not making this up. And I want to say for record also that I wore these glasses because usually y'all don't see me with my glasses on because I wear contacts, but I wore these glasses on behalf of all the squinties. Squinties, stand up because y'all be choosing violence with us.
Squinties, sit down before you hurt yourself. Listen, wear your glasses. That's my message for the squinties. Wear your glasses, man. Did y'all know she wore glasses? Did y'all know that? No. Couples never wear glasses.
Oh gosh. Leave us alone. Okay. Thank you, Juliana. Thank you, Juliana. Because stop playing with us. Okay. Thank you,
Nobody
Darren.
wears their glasses less than somebody that can't see. Why is that?
Chivonne, yes. To answer your question, yes. What you saying?
Nobody wears glasses less than somebody that can't see. I don't understand it. I am also a Sikh. You see what I'm saying?
On behalf
Squinties
of
have to be
Squinties
stopped.
everywhere.
You know why it's traumatic for me? I'll be driving though. I'll be out on the road, but right?
First of all, no,
That's
we
what I'm
don't.
saying.
We
At
wear
night,
glasses.
but
We don't have to
that's
do
what I'm
that.
saying.
We don't have to do that. That's for those of you who try to get away from your astigmatism, swearing that you got 20/20 vision, and then you can't miss the pothole that's right in front of you. Don't get on the squinties. Don't y'all get on the squinties.
Yeah. One day Siobhan need to wear her glasses. Yo, this man is always on. I'll give it to him. He never turns it off.
Leave Darren alone just because he's siding on what's right.
We drive straight AF, straight into somebody else.
Absolutely not.
You
That's not
cannot
it.
see. Why you on the road?
First of all, don't do us like that.
And at night at that, y'all be killing me.
It's
Glad
not
it's
even.
not there.
It's y'all. It's y'all that swear that y'all are 20/20 vision
The
pros.
people that can see.
But you can't. The gag. You can't see.
Okay.
Can't see.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we gonna get into some news. Stop messing with us. No, you need to stop messing with me. Like y'all heard. How many times have you seen Raven? Have you heard? I never once seen her with glasses. So now Nisi, aka glasses, I'll shout out to her because she always wearing glasses. She got glasses behind her. Like, listen, she on glasses, and that's her nickname. But this one, when did you find out that she wore glasses? Today, right?
Oh,
You see what I'm saying? You see how it's dangerous? Inside of my car is my business. You see how it gets
talk your talk.
I need to pray to the sun god so I can keep my vision so I don't join the squinties. You're still young, Darren. You're gonna lose it little by little, but you're young. It's fine. You'll be all right.
I'm not playing with you.
But I gotta say, when you start doing this, get you some glasses.
Then
Please.
I think that you need to talk to your other radio host counterpart.
That's
yeah. He team. He can see everything.
Man, don't go nowhere. You need to stay tuned in.
Enjoy the party, Julian.
Yeah, so I can't tell that man nothing. Like when I saw him that night when we were out, and what is that? Like, who is that one?
Oh man. Hey. But I swear the squinties be one that's doing it crazy work.
Yeah, y'all squinties, y'all crazy. So if you be squinting, if you go out at night and like you asking people who is that over there and is that such and such, please go get your eyes checked, man. Juliana goes to parties and everybody don't get to see her. LOL. What party going on? Raven fanning like she about to dance to Boots on the Ground.
Oh, I got my boots on the ground.
Hey, shout out to Nisi. She's traveling. That's why you're not seeing her. I know y'all miss her. We all do.
We do. Big up to my girl.
Big up to my girl. She should really be in the chat right now, but still.
She should be. But you know what? I want her to have an enjoyable day with her doing whatever she want to do.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know, why do blind people afraid to wear glasses? LOL. Why is that? Why don't you just wear the glasses? They look nice.
Well, I don't wear the glasses because since I was younger, I used to. Okay, so I'm a classically trained ballerina, right? Ooh. So when I had to be in a Nutcracker, I couldn't wear glasses on stage. I had to wear contacts. So I learned how to wear contacts at a very young age, and that's just what I felt most comfortable with. And as contacts have evolved over time, I can wear it for longer without having to wear glasses, but you need to let your eyes breathe. So, times when I'm just chilling, I wear glasses.
But when you wear contacts, your eyes aren't breathing though, right?
Well, again, they've transformed over time. So the ones I wear are called breathables, and they feel so much better, like to wear. So.
Who called y'all blind? We went from being squinties to blind. Who said blind?
Darren said that, which again, this where Darren be going wrong.
You see what I'm saying? Darren, come on.
We was okay.
I'm not gonna do that. So leave Nisi alone. We need to take breaks from the Virgo down from. That's you also. Like, what are you talking about? It's you. Darren, come on, man. I need some self-awareness from you, man. Like, you telling people to stop doing what you be doing?
Oh gosh.
You're funny. All right, so I'm gonna leave it to the I'm gonna leave it to the chat. Do you want us to jump into the news because we do have some topics we want to touch on, or should we start with the topics first? So tell us in the chat. Should we jump to the news and then get to the meat and potatoes, or we should go ahead and do it the other way around? Let us know. Yeah, leave Nisi alone. Something wrong with this man.
Nisi is my boo thing. He said the shit. Darren says, start with the news.
Start with the news. We're going to get out the way. All right. In about 23 seconds, we're coming back. All right. So we like to start it off with good news. You know what I mean? It'll be hard to find good news. I ain't going to lie to you. It'll be hard to find good news, which is very unfortunate. But yeah. Stop losing.
Tune into the Bush G Morning Show with DJ Morning Show on the radio. Catch the On Top of Things Midday Show with Miss Cruz and Lon, Monday through Friday. Brought to you by My Lord Variety Store.
For the jokes. You won't be joking.
On 101.3 Row FM.
Darren, don't be joking. Welcome back. We were in Raw FM Plus, chatting with the folks in there, getting our engagement up. You know what it is. You are now rocking with the best, the number one station in the U.S. Virgin Islands, 101.3 Raw FM. This is a different day with Ja and
Ray. What's up, y'all?
The apostle in the building on this beautiful Sunday.
Lord, here he go. You know, for those of you who don't know, I get called the apostle. However, because I love people with the love of Christ, as I should. But if I need to be what I need to be, then just know that it's the total opposite, respectfully.
Unfortunately, if you're listening on the radio, you can't see us live streaming. So can you show the people that can see us what the fan says that you have?
It says, Queen, please.
What does that mean? Please.
So actually, this was a part of a show that's playing in New York called, what is it called? Six. It's a Broadway play called Six, and they were giving these out. So
now the reason why we call her the apostle is because she be preaching, she be spitting facts and hitting people with the bars, and like it be feeling like a sermon because she hit you deep in your soul. So it's no disrespect. Not like we're clowning her. It's because she really do be preaching. Like, you need oil when you listen to her. All right, you need to keep the oil somewhere.
Listen, because you're gonna get some of this oil. If I don't know nothing else, you're gonna get some.
Now we're gonna get to the news. We're gonna read out some news before we get to the topics. So stay put. Even if you don't like news, we got to cover it because this is what we do here. But we have the trending topics, and you could join the discussion live on the Facebook, YouTube live stream. So you could look at it through 101.3 Raw FM's live stream, or same difference as live stream. You know what? Go to 101.3 Raw FM's live stream and put your comments there. Join the conversation live. That's what we're here for. We want to hear from you. But first, we want to start out with some good news. The good news is it's Carnival, baby.
Let's go.
Now, Miss Raven, I know you are feta for real. Are you going to be in town for Carnival?
I am a veteran. I will definitely be in town for St. Thomas Carnival. I'm so excited. This is going to be my second time going to theirs. And it's very different from St. Croix Carnival. I will say that. It's very, very different.
We're going to leave it there.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
Darren says, "I leave Apostle Scott not going to have the ushers close the doors for 40K." Or was it 40? No, yeah, it was
We're
40K.
not going to touch on that right now.
We're gonna hit that. That's one of the topics. But first, the VI Department of Tourism and the Division of Festivals has officially released the performance lineup for the 73rd annual St. Thomas Carnival Village Nights, which will feature 6 nights of free entertainment, headlined by international superstars Shabba Ranks and Kess. Scheduled to begin on Monday, April 28th, this year's Village Nights will blend global talent with homegrown Virgin Islands artists, continuing a tradition that draws locals and visitors alike to celebrate the culture, music, and spirit of Carnival season. This year's St. Thomas Carnival is going to be at another level, said DOT Commissioner Joseph Bosholt. We're excited to continue bringing global talent to our islands and showcasing local talent too. The Village Night performers reflect the continued influence and growth of our territory's 3 carnivals. Representing the U.S. Virgin Islands on stage will be some of the territory's most recognizable names, including Pressure Bus Pipe. Glad to hear that he's okay after that traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Adam O. Third. Star Martin back in the place. Mike Love. Tamisha, she's in the joint. Shaw HP and Spectrum Band. These artists will join international headliners to create a dynamic, cross-cultural entertainment experience, the department said. Divisions of Festivals Director Ian Turnbull underscored the significance of the performances. These annual celebrations are so special because they showcase the best of Caribbean culture and honor the shared heritage and rich traditions that unite us all, said Turnbull. Our goal every year is to authentically highlight Caribbean artistry and talent for everyone experiencing the festival. Carnival Thursday, May 1st will feature the highly anticipated Juve celebration headlined by Virgin Islands soca star Pampa and Vincentian artist Skinny Fabulous. The morning festivities will roll into a wet fete later that day with performances by B Squad, Kwan, and Sisa. I hope that's how you pronounce it. The full calendar of Carnival events also includes long-standing favorites such as the Prince and Princess Show, the Queen Show, Calypso Monarch, Boat Race, Panorama, and the Children's and Adults Parade. Now, I just got the heads up that we're not sounding right on the dial, so we're going to come off of there. But if you're listening and you want to join in the conversation, get with us on the Raw FM live stream right now. All right?
And also make sure you join us on TuneIn. You know what I mean? We're on the TuneIn app. I heard you over there. So you're on the TuneIn app as well. So big up. Now, I will say this concerning this topic, right? St. Croix had every right to feel how they felt about not having the pertinent information up front, no lineup, no nothing like that. And I will say that, again, they heard what it was. This might be a controversial take. Some people might feel like, it doesn't matter. They always treat St. Thomas better, but I'm going to say it seems like they took that feedback to make sure that it's better, that it doesn't happen again. I think that it'll be better received once next year's Cruising Christmas comes and go from that point. But you gotta, Lord have mercy. You gotta be thankful for the small things.
That particular lineup, does it bother you?
It does. I think that St. Croix, I feel like it does for this particular reason, not because it's not a good lineup. It's a great lineup. I just feel like St. Croix deserves that without all of the hassle. Like they deserved that without it being you got to pay to get in. Now you don't have to pay to get in and all that other kind of stuff. I feel like that part wasn't necessarily so fair. So, that's why I'm saying like it's. I'm not mad at the lineup. I think the lineup is great. I just wish that it would have happened for St. Croix.
Okay, so the name is Bosholti.
Okay.
Bosholti.
Y'all, I'm laughing because I don't know how to pronounce everybody's last names yet. And I mistakenly mispronounced his name. And my friends are in the chat having the time of their life because they remember it.
I mean, I feel like Shaba would be a good performance. I feel like he's been performing for a long time and he gets down. But I seen some comments from Saint Tomians and they were not feeling it. They were not
Really?
feeling it. No, they were not. Keita says, I heard they still owe some local artists payment for St. Croix Festival, but I can be incorrect. I heard that's also a thing that happens, and this ain't just for the carnival. Like it happens.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because anybody who puts their time, room, space into being able to prepare for something like that, or
Mhm.
to give their talent to it and not receive what they deserve, you know what I'm saying, from their hard labor, I feel like that's not cool. I don't feel like that's
Yeah.
cool.
So Nisi says there should be two different lineup, but if equal talents. So I need some clarification on that. There, I don't know if you do, but can you provide some clarification? What do you mean two different lineups, but of equal talents?
Yeah, tell us.
Not only local artists but vendors for a couple years now. Yeah, they ain't gained their payment, but that's a known issue. Like that's like you said, not just local artists but vendors. It takes a while to get paid. But I know when they bring them big acts, like when they are brought, well, that wasn't the government, but when they bring big acts from off island, I know they get their payment because you would have heard if they didn't get paid.
Well, here's the thing though. You just said the operative word. The government is not paying those acts, right?
Mhm.
The people that are paying those acts are the promoters for the parties that they're attending or whatever. Now, I don't know if for Village, the government is paying for that or not. But if they are, you know, the reality is artists are not coming unless they get paid. And again, that's understandable. So you know what you got to sacrifice to make sure that they get there.
I mean, it had Kes, it had Shaba, it had some. It'll be my thing, right? If we're celebrating I think that majority of the acts should be VI talent, but that's just me because people want other acts. But if this is a VI festival, VI carnival, like the bulk of the acts should not be from outside. Like, whose culture are you celebrating at that point? That's just me. That's not Roy FM. That's not Raven. That's just Jeff.
No, but I can understand that sentiment. At the same token, I guess my question is, do Virgin Islanders truly value VI music, right? I still feel like it's a struggle for some DJs to get music from local artists to play on radio. It's still a struggle for them to even create a clean version to be able to be played on radio before they complain and say, well, they're not even playing our music. They're not even giving us a chance. Well, we can't do that if you don't have a clean version of said music. And again, let's be clear. I don't think that I think that there are some artists that Virgin Islanders really, really do rock with and they really do love, right? Um, and I'm cool with that. I just think that overall, I think people are looking at who is the artist that's going to draw the most money versus the most talent or versus them just being local. And sometimes I think that they feel like, well, we hit our goal once we have 3 or 4 opening acts that are Virgin Islanders, or they come from the mainland to come back home to do this and to go back, whatever. So I guess it just depends on the logic behind it. I've said it before on radio. I will say it again on radio. Shamari, I love you. I hope you are listening because I really do appreciate everything that you do with your job and everything like that. I would just make a suggestion that maybe before you guys start planning for the next year's cruising, well, this year's cruising Christmas going into next year, that you sit down with the local DJs that are popping. You sit down with the local artists to figure out what it would look like if you had some of their opinions in curating a night for the Virgin Islands. I think it's nothing wrong with gathering information from them. And again, it's not just gathering information from people that you know, but it's also gathering information from people that you may not be as familiar with. I think that there are some people out there that, again, they have great product. I just don't think that enough people know them well enough to be like, okay, give this person a chance. Because let's be clear, a lot of people get a chance by word of mouth or who you cool with. It's not based on your talent.
But even okay, I agree, and I think multiple things are true in this instance, right?
Mhm.
Like, let me read Darren's. I think it's a mix when it comes to support. I think VI support top acts like Pumpa and Adam O, but a lot of artists' music is not as good as they think and need to do a better job of promoting their music. One, I agree that there are artists out there that need to do a better job of promoting their own music. Shout out Keita on the track in there because she be promoting. She be on her social media. But there are also artists that think that DJs need to go look for their stuff to play it, which doesn't
That's
make
not
sense.
how that works.
And I've seen for myself, like Sai is asking artists, send it to me so I can play it on the radio, and they don't. I've seen Sai literally tell people, get a radio version so I can play it, and they don't. And then they'll get online and complain that their stuff is not getting played. Maybe it's because you're not promoting yourself. And then with supporting top acts like Pumpa and Adam O, yes. However, why did it take so long for Pumpa to be in the village and be a part of our stuff when he's going to all these other islands and he's in theirs? Why is it that Adam O and Friends, which should be an annual thing, why did it only happen once and then it happened the next year? You get what I'm saying? Like these kind of things. And I'm not even a feta like that. I'm just noticing these things from the outside looking in.
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. And then it got man like, like Peanut. He's going all these other islands and they're loving it. He get West Girl, which is West Girl is a VI thing. The song is a VI thing. Why is it getting more play outside of the VI during the carnival?
You know what? I got a hot take on that.
Okay. I got a hot take wait, hold on. Now go.
Here's my hot take. I think that the reason why he's getting so much love in other places versus the VI is because, again, I just don't think that a lot of people in the VI mess with VI radio. Now, this is controversial to say, but I'm being for real. There are some people who prefer to listen to different things online, right? And I will say Raw FM is just one of a kind, in which that you can go on, tune in, be able to, you know what I'm saying, look them up, be able to still hear the radio and have the quality that you need and whatnot. I just feel like on one hand, it's an arrogance thing. On the other hand, I think it's that people don't necessarily so believe in radio the way that they once did, you know what I'm saying, listen to radio.
I got you. But like the tune in stuff, now we have live streaming like we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like radio is evolving also. So we got to keep up with that there. But I do agree that a lot of people don't listen to radio like they used to. You may hear it at a business. You know what I'm saying? You might hear it on the drive to and from somewhere. But to say that you're really on it and tuned into the radio, that's different. Now,
that's definitely true.
Let me get into Crujan Girl Nisi's comments because we asked for clarification. There should be two different lineups, but of equal talents. The lineups for St. Croix and St. Thomas should be different, but the quality of the performers should be of equal caliber. Boom. I can't. Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? Something else too, because of what she just said. If you're going to have big artists come, don't cut the live stream. Don't cut the live stream. Let the people that are at home who want to see it, because what if that person is physically not able to get there? What if they're physically having that issue? I feel like it's fair to leave that space very open to anybody who wants to enjoy it. So I'm gonna say like that was something else that I was like, oh, come on, y'all.
Now, to be fair, there are contractual agreements like with Marshall Montano about playing their stuff. So I get that. I agree with you. If you don't have to, don't cut the stream. But if there's contractual agreements, there isn't much that they can do. So people are really mad at Consortium for cutting the stream, but the man has a contractual agreement, long-standing, that you don't play my stuff for free.
Hey, if it's in the contract, I'm all about following contracts. But I am going to say, I think that what may work in other countries does not always work for here.
Fact.
It does not always work for where you're going to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just feel like in all actuality, you have to be flexible with certain things. I don't even care if they would have said, we're going to charge everybody that wants to see it live $1. You got to pay $1 to see it live. Every time I was on live, it was always thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people online. Can you imagine how much money they could have made if the only thing that they charged people was $1 to tune in?
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy.
I agree. That's a good idea. But I mean, we need forward thinking people to be making these decisions. And gonna be honest, it's a blanket statement. It may not apply to everyone. It can't, right? But we don't have those forward thinkers in places or positions that we need them in. And then too often in the Caribbean, we're so like stuck in our ways that when you get with forward thinkers, the other folks, the majority, cuss them out and talk them down and know this is how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always thinking about the next and forward thinking, and I've come across that also, like just suggesting other things and other ways that we should be looking at it, and you get shouted down because it's like, nah, I've always done it this way.
And here's the gag, right? Here's what I really need people to be set free from. If it was working the old way, you would be making money with no problem. You would be able to pay people with no problem. The reality is something broke. And it wasn't just about money. It was about the people that are sitting in these spaces. I've said it before, and I'm always going to say it again. You will die in a seat and your job will be up the next day. And God forbid you had the option of having this person be able to be like your legacy, a part of your legacy, right? And you chose not to just because they had brighter ideas than you had from way back in the 1950s. Stop playing with us, please. At this point, brilliant minds are brilliant minds. I was born to do something amazing. And if somebody tries to hinder that, then you're blocking a blessing that may be for somebody else. You might be blocking a blessing that's for you. So when it comes to like that old mindset that people have, it sends me. Because again, you're not about progression. It's not about progression. It's about you just being so connected to a seat that you don't know how to move. But I digress, though.
The apostle, ladies and gentlemen. Now you see why we call it that. Now you get it, right? Okay. All right. Let me get to some of these comments. Keita says she's spitting, referring to Raven, of course. Them don't like other people input or ideas. I'm assuming you're talking about government officials and those who are actually in a position to make some kind of changes. I agree. Nisi says we need a meeting with the local performers in general. Correct. When it comes time for Carnival, there should be several meetings. And quite frankly, they should already be talking about St. Croix Carnival.
Thank you. Thank you. They should be talking about it now.
To be honest, some of the artists are way too whiny, I agree, and sensitive to take constructive criticism. They end up self-imploding. There is no reason you as an artist, I go to your artist music page and there's no music. There's no performances. There's no videos on your music page. Because that annoys me. I'm going to be honest. Obviously, that annoys me. Because you want, and I shouldn't go to your page and go to SoundCloud. That's dumb.
Here's the thing. There are a lot of artists that are not good at EPKs, which are electronic press kits. There are a lot of artists that are not good at business. They're good at doing the music, but they are not good business people. And they decided to hire in that family friend or family member to do the business for them, who still does not have the background that they need to have. And then they end up in this space of like, why am I not moving forward? You're not moving forward because straight out the gate, you might be charging this high amount of money when you're not there yet. You're not moving forward because if people try to look you up to get more information about you, even if they might want to bring you into school or something like that, and they just want to get background about you, all they see on your pages are inappropriate things. Why would they invite you? Right? You have to learn how to separate the artist from the person. And I know it might sound weird to some people, but it's the reality. People are always checking for your background. They're checking on you. So if you want to get more bees with honey, then you're going to have to make some corrections and some changes. I would honestly say every artist should have somebody that works in communications on their team. They should have somebody that is well-versed in business on their team. And that means making the investment in paying them to do this business for you, because helping people with that is a business. So I'm just saying people could do better if they just had the right team around them. Jendai.
Lock the doors. Lock them doors.
Don't lock the doors. Lord have mercy.
Hey, I wish I could lock IOTA leaving it live. But anyway, here we go. Let me see what else we're saying in the chat. Nisi says a meeting with the local performers in general. Kita says, well, my emails be sitting in their inbox. I don't know how more professional I can be without Queen Mary ancestry showing out.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, them emails, though, a lot of it be trash. So I feel you. When it comes to Peanut, I think people are turned off by the vulgarness of his music and his antics on social media, in my opinion. Yet and still, what's hot right now? Bouillon and Dominican music talking about, put your honey up and push it in my mouth, right? But he too vulgar. All right. Okay. No, I agree. The older crowd won't dig it, but the views say something different. Call me crazy, but the views and shares be going nuts. And for some reason, it's too vulgar for us in the VI, but it's not for them in St. Kitts, Antigua. Like, okay.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest here, for all the millennials and Gen X's, like we grew up around BT After Dark. We saw Tip Drill. What are we talking about?
To be fair, he did end up in hot water over it, but we saw it though.
Yeah.
Marshall don't play about his contract. That's his rule. It is his contract. Yeah. Chivone says, can we afford 3 islands, 3 carnivals with performers of equal talent? That's a fair question. Are all 3 carnivals producing the same levels of revenue? Ooh.
Absolutely not. No, they're not. I can tell you right now. And this is my guesstimation from standing back, from thinking business, from thinking production. Absolutely not. I think that, again, people do more where they know they're going to make more. And the reality is, going over to St. Thomas, you run the possibility of making more. I mean, even though shady, but very true. No, I'm not going to say that, because, again, it's not nice. Just know I will never eat a pate over in St. Thomas ever again in my life. Your thing is muted. I can't hear you.
I was going to stay away from it, from talking about St. Thomas food.
I'm sorry.
Since you brought it up. Since you brought it, y'all should know how I feel about St. Thomas.
No. So it's not going to be the same. I don't think that it will ever just be the same, to be completely honest with you. I think it's always going to be different for all 3. And I'm just hoping that one day it will it'll change, or it'll get better. But the reality is, to your question, Shivane, I don't think that all 3 islands, all 3 carnivals with performers of equal talent will happen, and, producing the same levels of revenue. No. Mm-mm.
They couldn't. They really could, or be close or something. But again, do we have the forward-thinking people to really like try to balance that out? Instead, we end up with people that want to say, you get these crumbs, we're going to focus on the one that makes more, when you could actually balance it out. And as far as St. Thomas food, I call it St. Tums, because that's what you need. Some Tums, some Pepto-Bismol or something.
You know what? You out of order. That's out of order. I didn't even go that far, but that's out of order. What I will say is, if I'm going over to St. Thomas, I want a Tanisha with me. I want a Tanisha with me.
You literally have to bring a chef with you to go to. How crazy is that? Think about that.
Give me a Tanisha, okay? I would gladly eat whatever food she cooking. But I'm telling you, when I chewed into that pate, and it was a pit, it was like a hard pit inside of my pate, and they really charged me like, absolutely not. Siobhan, I hear you.
That's why I don't allow St. Thomas people to gaslight me, saying that they're the better chefs. I can't have it. Chevrolet, St. Croix brings in more people than St. Thomas because of that time of year, and it helps that we're the larger island. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't doubt St. Thomas had a larger bag though. But look at what St. Thomas had though. St. Thomas had one of the biggest Afrobeat artists out right now paying him like, of course. Hey, the apostle, she's spitting. Someone pass the collection plate.
I'm not playing with
Agreed
you.
on the meeting. We need data-driven decisions to be made.
That's right.
Here's the thing, right? We're not in on those conversations. They'll give us data that they choose. Like you'll hear government officials talking about, oh, the increase in the amount of people that came, but they won't say what happened, or they won't split it up in a way to like put it in context or none of that stuff. They give us the info that they want us to hear. Yeah, oh, we increased this amount of tourist travel and stuff, but that's not enough to make judgments on where it came from, when it was, what was going on at that time.
And I'm gonna say this too. Just because you make enough money to say that you've met a new goal doesn't mean that you need to expand. Sometimes you need to master the place that you're at to know that you've done this really well before you choose to do something bigger. It doesn't mean that you just have that money, because let's be for real. Until every vendor is paid, until every artist is paid, until every employee is paid that has done their due diligence as asked of them, then you're not doing well. You're actually just, you're still here and you're trying to get to here. So I do definitely agree that, you know, there does need to be some change on the committee. But the reality is that if they don't find that or deem that to be necessary, we're just talking, and what are we going to do? What can we do?
But if you're doing something supposed to be for the people, at the very least, there should be surveys going on. You know what I'm saying? Like at the very least, you should be talking to the people.
But don't they have to present in front of the senators and whatnot, right?
They do. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Kita says, Raven saying facts. Unfortunately, you can't build that here. Trust me, I've tried. Tanisha says, VI just don't know how to support their own. Too much envy. Do you agree with that?
I do. I've seen that live and in person. I agree with that.
Let the Tomians tell it. They have their writ. This is what I talk about gaslighting. This is what I talk about right there.
I'm gonna have to strongly disagree. The moment I saw a Gucci link, Johnny Cake, I knew it wasn't real.
You see?
I knew I couldn't take it serious.
Even know that man can't cook. Listen, y'all seen how they ended up. You see how Twinkle, how she who will not be named, slandered the entire Virgin Islands because she went to St. Thomas and had their food.
Oh man.
And then we had to catch her straight because she chose the wrong food. I need to run a St. Thomas food tour. I tired of her going to places Tomians don't eat at. If you gonna run that food tour in St. Croix, sure.
Listen, I'm never going to turn it down. So when I come over for St. Thomas Carnival, if you want to take me around, I'll be more than happy, because I would give it a try.
Okay, just remember, St. Thomas, bring your Tums.
Not St. Thomas. I'm
gonna need someone to put Raven on a committee. She making sense, which makes dollars.
Thank you. I would love to. Call me.
Good afternoon. I never forget my Tomian side of the family. My father's side, hype a food spot. Tried the food and I ended up throwing away most of the plate. Real nasty work.
Oh no. Good brother. Marcus, what's up?
Yo, what's good? All right, let's move on to the next thing here. Because we were on that for a little bit. All right, for the unfortunate news. Homeless population in USVI reaches crisis level. Emergency shelters full as women with children face growing need. A recent count found 304 unhoused individuals in the USVI, with shelters turning people away due to capacity limits. Lawmakers were told women with children now make up a growing share of shelter residents as wait lists remain closed. The U.S. Virgin Islands is facing a deepening homelessness crisis with emergency shelters at capacity, wait lists closed, and critical housing shortages affecting some of the territory's most vulnerable residents. As the number of unsheltered individuals continues to grow, lawmakers and service providers are sounding the alarm over limited resources, rising demand, particularly among women with children, and the urgent need for a coordinated territory-wide response. In 2023, there were 252 unsheltered individuals in the territory. 2 years later, the number of homeless Virgin Islanders has risen to 304. Members of the Senate Committee on Housing, Transportation, and Telecommunications heard on Friday. That information, taken from a January 24th point-in-time count, was shared by Dan DeRima, chair of the Continuum of Care on Homelessness. There's a continuum of... Okay. According to Mr. DeRima, the number of unsheltered individuals comprises 185 persons in St. Thomas. That's higher than everywhere else. 98 persons on St. Croix and 21 on St. John. The true number of people experiencing homelessness is likely much higher, Mr. DeRima said, as the count does not account for individuals who are couch surfing or temporarily staying with others. The territory faces critical challenges in addressing homelessness, he declared. We must strengthen cross-agency collaboration to braid the funding and expand the availability of emergency, transitional, and permanent supportive housing, Mr. DeRima told lawmakers. He argued that the limited housing stock in the territory makes it difficult to access emergency housing. Those in need of immediate housing options face a 2-year public housing wait list, limited Section 8 availability, and no transitional housing for justice-involved individuals. Mr. DeRima lamented the territory has only 23 permanent supportive housing beds, despite a demonstrated need for several hundred. 23 permanent supportive housing beds. They need several hundred. All right, I know you're a thinking woman, you're an idea person, you're a planning and project management type. Can you tell us, are there any hopes to make this better?
So the first thing I think about is what job opportunities are made available to people that are suffering through these housing issues. The next thing I think about is the number of mental illnesses that might be in this number as well. And third, how are the people rotated, right? Are they looking to build, or are they just looking to remain? And from the sounds of it, they've just been remaining the same. And with the number being as high as it is in St. Thomas, I'm actually quite surprised that it's that high, considering the amount of success that St. Thomas has, right? I would think that there would be some sort of something that would be put in place for them. Now, because I'm not well versed on programs that are currently available, my other question becomes, I can only speak on St. Croix because that's where that's home for me, right? So when I've seen homeless people out and about in St. Croix, literally, I don't see them with a place to go. And most of them present as having some sort of mental illness. And the sad part about it is that I don't believe that there are too many mental resources to help people to be able to get better without them having to go to a hospital and take up space. And that's not really what they need. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about solutions, my first question is identifying the realities of the issues. How are we figuring out exactly how many people are like the detailed information, background information? After finding that information out, my next thing is, what programs do we have available and how do we expand them? After that, it's how do we get the funding, you know what I'm saying, to expand, if there is funding available? Because let's be very clear, there are quite a few, we know the state of the territory right now, it's not a lot of funding that is available for any new programs. It might be said, but we don't really see it like that. And Adrena just made a really, really good point about rehabilitation. There are some people that come from, they might be getting out of jail or out of prison or whatever the case may be, and they don't have a resource to go to be able to help. You know what I mean? So how are we helping them? Or is the reality that the territories are just not capable of helping? And if not, what stateside or what other Caribbean country could we link with, partner with, study to be able to see how they do what they do to make the changes that could be beneficial for us? But those are my thoughts. You're muted.
Thank you. As far as resources, no, we don't have the resources. That's clear, because too many times you'll hear that we have 5 days worth, 3 days worth of cash on hand, and we don't have the resources as seen at Wang Louis. We don't have the resources for health care, yet alone for mental health care.
Yeah.
We had me and Nisi had Nellie O'Reilly on the show, and one of her major, if not the biggest platform that she runs on is mental health, because of a very personal issue with her own son. And she made it clear that there's no mental health facility like that. So we know, as we can see, we grew up calling them paraman and parawoman and dismissing them, right? But it's an issue, as we can see in the numbers. I agree with you. When I saw that St. Thomas, which supposed to have the better economy, has the higher number of homelessness, that kind of threw me, because I thought y'all were doing better than St. Croix. And then even Governor Mapp himself has said on the Caribbean Currency podcast about how it's a thing where St. Croix gets the stuff that St. Thomas is done with, and then they get the new things. So where is the mental health facility? Where is the homeless shelter? Why they don't have that? And then again, I gonna keep bringing this up. I can get sick of me. Why is Good Hope School sitting there beachfront with all them empty facilities and all that space, and we ain't doing nothing with it?
They're waiting on a millionaire, billionaire to come and grab it. I feel like that's just the reality.
I'm making it into a resort, though, because that's what we need. But again, if tourism was working, and it's another thing that I'm gonna keep harping on. If it was working, we wouldn't have that many homeless people. And the more homeless people is in where the tourist economy is supposedly doing well. Think about that, on the smaller island.
Man. And my thing is, again, with some people, they just don't know. They just don't know how to start over. They don't know how to get back on their feet. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to keep going. And sometimes I wonder, for all of these overgrown places, all of these, listen, I was driving around on Island, and the amount of trash that I saw tucked away on some of these roads and all that stuff, I was like, if you gave somebody a job to do, that would help them be able to do. That would help take care of some of the problems that we're seeing in government, right? But the reality also is, depending on what they're going through, because some people don't have mental illnesses. They just don't know. They don't have a plan. They don't have a place. Let's be for real. St. Croix is so expensive. It is expensive to stay there. And it doesn't matter where you are. It is expensive to stay there and to function just as an individual. So when you talk about, well, even if we did give them the opportunity, right? I guarantee you somebody would say, pay that person a bare minimum. Pay that person a bare minimum. The bare minimum is not even helping people get along. A decent minimum is not even helping people that work in government get along. There are people that work in government that have 2 jobs because they still don't have enough to take care of themselves and their children and their bills. WAPA is still WAPA. It's not going to stop. So let's say this person does have the capacity to do better, get better. It still is going to take much more than just, you taught me a skill, all this other kind of, it's going to take more than that. It really does take, and it's unfortunate to say, but I really think that it would take for something to go wrong with somebody's family member in government for it all of a sudden to be an uproar to make all this change happen. That is my opinion. I am not saying that that's what people look to, but when it hits closer to home, you view it differently. My thing is, I have a heart for people, and I understand that people can hit a rough patch at any point in time. But to just not do anything and then complain when you see them, but you don't even offer them what food when you see them. It's blazing hot outside. You're not even offering them a cup of water and ice. It's all of these different things. So it's a complaint about everything, but it's no action behind anything. That's crazy to me. And it's very unfortunate because, again, if you want to make St. Croix into a tourist place, The reality is tourists don't want to see homeless. Tourists look at homeless as the reality of what they have to deal with at home. They don't want to have to say, oh, everywhere I was going, I was just having people were begging and da 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 da. Like, to Josh's point, you could take that beachfront property, that huge property, build it up to make it a place that could really help rehabilitate people, heal people, and make them so much better for them to be better citizens for the territory versus it being this explanation of like, oh, we have homeless. Well, what's the solution? Because if you're just saying that we have a homeless issue, what is your solution?
Yeah. And let's not underestimate the power of a good economy, right?
Yeah.
If there were actual incentives and programs being initiated to help people get jobs that pay well, a lot of the issues that we have would go away. People with good jobs that make money to live, they don't commit crime, they're not homeless, and they're not like worried as much. They're not concerned. They vote properly. They, you know what I'm saying? When you make good money and your credit score goes up, you're not worried about all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So things start clicking when people, the locals, are making better money. But we keep focusing on the tourists who come and leave. And I don't understand that, because if the economy is doing well, you don't think more tourists will come? You don't think people seeing that these people live well, you don't think more people will move? Like that's what I don't understand. You're focusing on getting people to come, right? And for the longest while, the first thing that they see would be Airport Road full of potholes like it's the moon.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then the first thing they're introduced to is a taxi ride for $75 to get somewhere very close.
Yeah.
That's their introduction to the place. You got people getting taxed from the time they get off the plane. And then all I'm hearing now is more taxes being imposed. Somehow that gonna help the Virgin Islands when the people are already struggling and suffering, and we got a homeless problem, we got this problem, we got housing problem. How that makes sense?
Yeah, when I saw the potential tax for people who own Airbnbs, for it to, create more revenue, I'm just like, all the Airbnb owner is going to do is upcharge the place for somebody to stay, and that's just going to take care of whatever fee they would have to take care of, like, ultimately. So,
and you're hurting locals, because it's locals that own these places and are trying to make some extra change to survive in an economy that is crippling them. But he wants to do that to push people to hotels when the hotel management and owners is not in the Virgin Islands. But I digress. Let me
I feel no, but let's be for real. As Virgin Islanders, definitely understand the perspective of, we're trying everything we can, and it seems like our voices are still not being heard, because all of the ideas that are coming from a lot of the solutions are sounding like they're still a pain to us versus really solving whatever the bigger problem is. So I understand it, but it's a lot of good comments, Jai. What they say?
Yeah. I don't want them to think that I'm ignoring them. We were just in the Holy Spirit. Darren says, I ain't surprised about this. I've been seeing this escalating for the past couple of years. Anybody with eyes could have seen it.
Yeah.
Telling the truth, people from Rock drop off troubled family members and leave them here.
That should be illegal.
We've seen an increase of stateside people dropping off troubled family members. How
that should be illegal. If you have guardianship over somebody, and let's say you're tired of being a guardian and you just decide to drop them off on another island, and then it shows that you had guardianship over said person, you deserve to get a fine for that. That's not fair. But I digress. Go ahead.
And there are many beds in the hospital being used to care for people with serious illnesses who have nowhere to go. That's a fact. And then the healthcare is abysmal already.
Yeah.
Where are the job resources for these people and the mental health resources for these people as well? They keep turning a blind eye to the root causes of this boom in homelessness. Let me go and sit in my corner before I get upset. It's true. The root cause is unemployment, and then there's the mental health issue. But we're not working on either one.
Mm-mm.
We have so much money to build public housing. These people just broke ground last week on rebuilding the Shabert. Oh, and I ain't gonna even. We discussed this. They're not rebuilding, repairing public housing at the rate they're closing them down. It's true. Because they'll knock them down and leave it down for years.
True.
See, she literally just said the same thing I've been saying. Yes, are they rehabilitating current residents to make room for new residents? Are there properties that we can convert for community housing? Gina, you haven't been home in a while, right? And you're from St. Thomas. If you see the amount of abandoned houses, properties, and stuff in the Virgin Islands right now, listen, if we were to rehab them thing, the homeless issue would be non-existent. I'm telling you, because it'll break my heart when I'm driving around and see all these abandoned buildings just covered in grass and nature's taking it back.
Yeah, that's facts.
Christine says there's plenty of funding. It's just not a priority. That's a sad reality. The VI doesn't have a money problem. We have a money management problem. Wow. Bars.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that. I think that there are people who say that they can manage, but they've never managed their own money, let alone being able to manage government money, which is sad.
And then what do? They ask for more. They find more reasons to tax the people that are already hurting.
Yeah, definitely.
Siobhan Thomas Harrigan was demolished. Siobhan Thomas Harrigan was demolished and no date of when rebuilding will begin. We can't continue like this. There's a ball field. There's a stadium that is taking 10 years. Don't let Crystal see this. She already trying to move back home to St. Croix. She saw all of it. I mean, she has eyes. I think she has 4. She has 4 eyes. She's seen all of it.
Don't do that to her. Words on the squinties.
The squinties are spreading. I be thinking that every time I pass Good Hope. Exactly. Listen, this is a beachfront property. Big, huge. St. Croix expensive, but the cheapest of the 3 islands. Rehabilitation is a tourist industry. Compared to us, yeah, because the tourist island gonna hit the hardest, and St. John is very exclusive.
Okay, I'll tell you what, my experience in St. Thomas was that I spent less money on food and it was still really good. And the cost of staying in the food that I had, hear what I'm saying. The food that I had and the places that I went to.
Where were you?
I can't tell you. I just know.
You said this was St. Thomas, you said?
This was on St. Thomas. I'm gonna give the little props where it was due. You know what? I'm not playing with you, Jai. Anyway, y'all. I'm just saying, like on a real tip, there were certain places I went to that it was much cheaper to get some food than it was if I was to get that same food in St. Croix.
Okay.
And then the other part of that is what else? What did she say? It's cheaper. Oh, and an Airbnb there was much cheaper.
Really?
And oh man. It was a huge difference. It was a huge difference in what I've paid before.
What do you think about this? Rehabilitation is a tourist industry. What do you think about that? You want to marinate on that while I go through the comments?
Yeah, I feel like I understand where she's going with the comment. I just don't, because it takes me to the thought of who are you inviting in at that point, right? We talk about the state of the territory right now, the people that are moving down here, the people that are investing down here, but they don't respect culture. They don't respect, the people and all that other kind of stuff. So it's just like, I hear what she's saying. At the same token, I'm like, okay.
I agree. And I understand why she's saying it. And I agree because I just posted on the Same Difference page not too long ago, situation in Roatan where a tourist was unalived in an accident and they didn't have the facilities, the healthcare facilities. The person could have been saved, but they didn't have the healthcare facility. And the creator who made the content was saying, if you're not going to give the facilities to us, the locals, then do it for the tourists. So I understand why she's saying rehabilitation is a tourist industry, because if your number one industry your claim to fame is tourism, then do it for them and let us benefit by a side. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what she's saying. Like, if you want tourists, then rehab the place, make it look good, bring the tourists, and let the locals enjoy it secondhand.
I hate that so bad.
Yeah, I got to stop thinking trickle down economics works. It's like our default economic model. It's been proven it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
People without a plan is a mental illness that we do need to be sensitive to. But that's my own judgment. People without a plan is a mental illness that we do need to be sensitive to, but that's my own judgment. Too many people suffer from not having a plan to guide their choices. Helping people make a plan can make a huge difference and is a huge service to the community. Like Siobhan said, we need more data and decisions made based on data. They have the data. They're doing it. They're not putting it out.
Yeah.
They can use the money generated from rehabilitating the rich at Good Hope to help fund the cost of rehabilitating persons that can't afford it. Jandai says the probate process leads to many of those abandoned properties. True. It's a nightmare. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think Raven was squinting when she saw the receipt while she was in Rock. Even Rock, people say St. Croix is cheaper.
I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying for the places I went to, yeah.
Yeah, these unnamed places you went to, guys.
You know what, John? We're going to have this conversation offline is all I know. Go ahead, though.
I'm heavy St. Thomas. I've never been St. Croix. I hope I'm not smelling beef cooking with Ja for real, LOL. No, it's not beef. I just don't like it. It's not beef at all. I just don't F with it.
I will always be 100 and say again, I just feel like St. Croix does have better food. They have better food.
That's not even an argument. Like, St. Thomas
that's-
has better economy. They get the better cruise ships. They have the jobs and stuff. That's like I'm saying, that's what it is. It's just matter of fact.
Yeah.
St. Croix has better food. We are the culture. We are the vibe. Like, that's, to me, that's a matter of fact statements. But people be like lying. I'm sorry. I've been over there like several times, and the food like is not good. It's not a beef. It's not good. And then when you look at the food, it's not visually appealing or anything either.
Yeah, nah. Death to their pates. But okay, next.
If we gonna call them that, but sure. All right. So yeah, speaking of Adrena had sent me something and she wanted us to speak on it. It's a little deep, but I think you're the perfect person for us to have this conversation with. So Nisi, you might have tricked yourself out of a spot. You about to get just hilarious.
Oh Lord. No, he didn't.
No,
Not me being Lauren. Not me being Lauren.
Lauren LaRosa. Yeah. All right. So the next topic provided by Adrena Afri, processing childhood memories as an adult. So we're gonna pose this, right? As an adult, have you processed childhood memories in a proper way? Me and Chivone had a conversation and how like we looked back on things, and now you realize that you've experienced trauma. Right? Back then it didn't seem like it because that's what was going on and you were a child, you didn't know how to process it. Like when I was very young, I seen someone unalived in front of me. Right? He was shook up to death, and I remember it vividly. And anywhere else but the hood, a child seeing that, they would have said he needs some counseling.
Yeah.
My mom was like, you all right? It wasn't all that. It wasn't that serious or whatever. But now when I think back to it, like when you see that type of trauma in a war zone, you need therapy. You need somebody to talk to. They offer you counseling. And that's if you sign up as a soldier. I saw that as a child.
Yeah.
So as far as processing childhood memories as an adult, right? Growing up Caribbean or growing up stateside, how do you, as an adult, process those memories without trying to without judgment, just process them and so you can move on? How do you do that?
This is a really good question. And it's funny because I'm starting this new series called I'm Talking About Me, I'm Not Talking About You, where it talks about this level of growing through your traumatic experiences. I think that many of us never dealt with our traumas as much as we set them in the back of our minds. And they didn't start showing up until we started having relationships with people, until we started having children and things like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, why is this small thing triggering me the way that it's triggering me? And it's because that level of trauma that you experienced never got healed. You never touched it. So when you finally find somebody that you feel like you can be open and honest with, then it's like this, it's a small unlocking of the bigger vault. That is where this memory lives. And then you recognize that you don't have all the tools that you need in order for you to process. So the next thing that you should do is talk to a professional. All right. There are a lot of people who are saints, some of the people that are ain'ts, some of the people that believe in different ways of dealing with their traumas with whatever God they serve. Right. I'm saying this. The experts are the experts in their fields because they can talk to you and give you tips and tricks on how to recognize that trauma being triggered and what to do to avoid it getting triggered again, and give you the confidence to, for some, confront what that trigger is. And confronting sometimes is not so much going after something in an aggressive way as much as it's just being able to say, you know what? This thing happened to me as a child and it happened to me in front of you. And instead of the response being this, it was this. And I never forgot that moment. So I'm not saying this because I'm looking for you to apologize or anything. I'm just saying it because I just need to say it out loud. I think so many of us have experienced things that we just have not said out loud. So I think that, again, wanting to heal the trauma is the first step. Getting professional help to get through that trauma is the next step. Getting the tools on how to learn your triggers is the third step. And then working the muscle of knowing what triggers you and how to remain in your peaceful state is the best thing that you can have. So that's how I feel like you start to at least get through what that looks like and feels like.
Marcus asked, "How did you process that experience, Jad? Did you deal with that?" Obviously, I didn't process it well,
Mm-hmm.
as a child because I wasn't given the tools, and then my mother wasn't exactly helpful, right, in it because the response was not what I needed. But I can't blame her because she didn't know any better herself.
Yeah.
As an adult, I process it as now I understand why, why I get angry, why like certain things don't bother me where it would bother other people. Because when you're taught that this is normal, this is what it is, like you just kind of like small things can't bother me like it might bother other people and send them to tears and stuff like that. So it didn't make me hard. But as an adult, I've learned I need to soften up, and having daughters has helped that also for me to soften up and be able to express myself in another way. Because too often we as men, the only emotion that we learn how to express in its entirety is anger. And we need to get out of that. We need to be able to tap into the full range of our emotions.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing and working with. And I don't know if I'll ever fully consider myself healed because it's an everyday thing.
Yeah.
People think they're healed from the time they have the conversation and they cry it out in the therapist's office and all of that. But the real works happen as soon as you leave.
That's right.
Like therapy is not doing the work. Doing the work is when you get back out into the world. If
That's
you were
right.
trapped in a small space by yourself, you could consider yourself healed until you're put in that room with your trigger.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. And thank you again. Marcus is in a comment and he said, thank you for speaking on that. And I think that more men deserve the space to heal. You know what I'm saying? To your point, I think a lot of men are really taught to just suck it up, and they're not they're not taught that it's okay for you to feel an emotion. And it's hard for some men to receive that space because it's so foreign. They don't know how to take that space from anybody. And what I will say is that to your point of what you were saying, it takes time. It's not something that just happens immediately. And if you have the right system around you, you know what I'm saying? I think it makes a huge difference in how you continue to process versus you kind of going back into if you don't, and then just kind of going back into the space of, I never should have said something in the first place and that kind of a thing. So
now, before we go any further, Adrina, I want you to clarify any questions that you may have, because this is your question. I want to make sure that we're hitting on what you want to see.
mm-hmm.
All right. Us having the full knowledge and complete understanding about an event only after it has happened is the understanding we should give our past selves for the mistakes we've made. Analyzing it without judgment for context when exercising new options and opportunities and free will. I think it's important that we forgive ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
because we could hold on to, how we responded in the moment, and that could eat at us for a long time. I think we need to learn how to forgive ourselves also.
Yeah.
A big thing for me was the perfectionist mindset and the extreme negative talk when I realized in hindsight the mistakes I've made. The more I learned, the worse I beat myself up about not knowing everything up front. See what I mean? We need to learn how to forgive ourselves, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yep. 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 And you
And
have to you gotta be fair in that space too, right? If you don't know, that's different than if you do know. If you do know and you still made the choice to do, then you have to forgive yourself for making a choice that was not the best that you knew from jump. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's not about, I really want people to know this is not about perfecting anything. You are literally always constantly learning as an adult, as a person, how to better yourself daily. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes those lessons are painful. And I also want to be very clear. And just because you may feel like you're healed from something, it doesn't mean that you necessarily so are, because the thing that you feel like you're healed from, you'll be tested on. And that's the thing that we don't like. We'll say, well, I already got over it. I got through it. Why am I having to go through this again? And it may not be on the same level of trauma that you've experienced before. But the reality is that you may be tested on your reaction to it to see if you'll go back into that space of being angry, or if you're just in that space of, let me breathe for a second before I start to talking. Because if I go back into that bag, I didn't grow the way that I thought I grew, So, yeah.
Marcus asking the hard questions today.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle or / process death now? If I died, what do you think you'd feel? Of course, you're my brother, man. I'd feel terrible about it. I'd allow myself to grieve and feel that pain, because too often we try to skip past it. We try to get to the other side of pain, but not go through it. And we need to go through it.
Yeah.
So I'd allow myself to mourn like I should, you know what I'm saying? And like take my time off, process it. But I also see death as a transition. Like I recognize that all of us are going to pass away, not to be morbid, but I know that that's what it is. So I try my best to enjoy and acknowledge and give flowers now, because we're here now.
Yeah. Yeah. And in transparency, I had a cousin of mine who passed last Sunday. He was a year younger than me. And typically when death happens, I am always the one to be the person for everybody else. But this one hits very differently because this person was Superman. You know what I'm saying? So how do I process Superman not being around anymore? And I had this question. This is the first death that I've really questioned, like, am I really going to go to this funeral or not? A part of me doesn't want to, because I'm not sure how I can handle my Superman not being there anymore. You know what I'm saying? At the same token, I'm giving myself space and room to allow my grief to be like waves crashing on a shore. I know they're coming, but I also know they're going to settle out. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not allowing the grief, because the happy thing is, and he passed away from cancer. The happy thing is is that now it's no more sickness. He's not in pain. He doesn't have to get poked and all that other kind of stuff. The selfish part is that I wish I could have said more, done more, because I thought I had more time. You know what I'm saying? Which is the reason why I tell people all the time, time waits on no man. Death waits on no man. If you want to say something to somebody, pick up the phone and call them, send a text and tell them, do whatever that thing is. And Superman, Marcus, no, was not my, it was not my father. It was my cousin. I just think that, again, grief is multi-layered. It doesn't look one way. And when you really look at the different layers of it, you truly do know that there is going to be a day, and you never know when this day is going to come, but it's going to be a day when you just start to feel better, even though you know the thing was a thing. So I definitely get you there.
Now, when it comes to grieving, because Adrena says she thinks about death every day. I would love for you to think about life every day, because the thing about grieving and death, I think that we tend to dwell on the death instead of the life. Like we say things like we think the highest form of love is dying for someone, when in all reality, most people, I would prefer for you to live for me than to die for me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's like, don't promise to die for me. Promise to live for me. Promise to prolong my name. Promise to, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I see death differently. My grandmother passed away, and, you know, everybody was going to the funeral. I don't go to funerals only because, like, that's not for them.
Yeah.
That's for you. And I don't need that to process death.
Yeah.
Like, when I pass away, I don't care what I've achieved or attained in life. Don't throw me no big funeral, going to debt, do GoFundMes and all that. Fry me up or yeet me in a hole or something, because, like, what, I'm not there anymore. But,
and we know that.
But the glass box and all of that there, and you know what I'm saying? He was a saint, and man, come on. Then inviting people that I didn't mess with in life. No, I'm not on there. Like, I'm not there anymore. Yeah. Celebrate my life. Do it how I would have wanted. If I'm looking at you right now, is this something that I would want? You know what I'm saying? Would I want people crying over me on this big vinyl encased, rhinestone studded? No.
John, let me tell you something. You ain't got to tell us twice. You ain't got to tell us twice, brother. If it's one thing I know we gonna do, it's gonna be partying it up like we 50 years old to say no more shots. It's gonna be laughter. It's going to be conversation. It's going to be all of those things that we know you would enjoy and that you would love. But to your point, this is also a reason, and we're not trying to be morbid here. I want to be very clear about this. We're not trying to do that. Preparing is so important. What I'm noticing is that people our age and getting between that like 30s and like 45, I'm seeing more of us pass away. What is happening here? Let me tell you something. I'm on my soapbox. You got one body. Take care of it. If you have not fasted for drinking for 30 days at all, but you've been drinking constantly, I implore you to fast. And it is, I'm not playing with y'all. I implore you to fast, because you gotta know when to give your body a break. You gotta know when you need to go for a walk instead of eating a hamburger. You gotta know when you need to be drinking water. You gotta know that you got kids that are looking up to you. You gotta know, go to the doctor once a year. I'm not even saying every month. I'm saying once a year, just to make sure you know how your heart is working, your brain is working, what's in your blood, whatever the case may be. You need to know these things and plan, because we all got an appointment with death. So make sure that you are using all the benefits that you get from your job to plan. Write the will. It's okay.
Life insurance.
Get life insurance. You know, it's only like $1 and some change out of your check every month, depending on who you work for. But it's very cheap.
We gotta stop them GoFundMes.
Listen, stop these chicken dinners, because everybody can't cook. All the aunties can't cook. That potato salad was disgusting. The spaghetti was not hidden. And it's not going to be enough to bury you. Funerals now start at bare minimum, I believe, like 10K or something like that.
Sure.
And I'm just like, many people's families don't have it. So prepare. You can't be scared of it. Embrace it. Give it a hug. What you need to do and figure it out.
It's a transition, like Saya said. It's a transition. Like energy doesn't die. You know what I'm saying? Moving on to the next space.
Yeah.
Nisi says healing doesn't mean it removes the issues. You have the tools to deal or manage it. Darren says thank you for being vulnerable. Hey, I could be vulnerable sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all hard. So true, Ray. Our men know anger, but not how to express their other emotions. I feel like I had said that, but okay. In terms of healing, although I have done tremendous work, I'm working to be discharged from therapy by the end of the year. I know being heartbroken by previous relationships and friendships have changed me forever. A Virgo has changed you forever, sir. But every day I work on it, and I feel this is my next big test to overcome. I'm learning to trust people again. Adrena thinking about death every day. In what way, shape, or form?
Yeah, you talked about that. We touched on
I
that.
appreciate you. Thank you for taking time and sharing space to answer the questions. Thank you, big bro. You know what it is. To answer Marcus' question, because of emotional modulation and regulation, I handle death well. I need to incorporate that in relationships as well. That's a grieving process, same way, you know. When you lose a relationship, you lose a loved one. When you lose a marriage, you get divorced or whatever, that's grief. That's mourning. You lost something. I think about how I may die in the next 2 hours. It motivates me to say and make the best choices. I think about how my life may be different if my father hadn't died. I think about waking up to my husband and children being unalived. It helps me plan and serve the best way I can. Counseling. You got anything for this?
I'll send her a message off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shivane says, oh, Ray, I know that hits deep. My heart is with you.
Thank
Raven,
you.
I would recommend going to the funeral. Funerals are for us to grieve and help us deal. Man, what did you say?
Listen, here's the thing. To Josh's point, I think that again, funerals are for the people that are there. They're not for the deceased. The deceased are
Not
really
everybody
there.
needs it.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Even when I think about my own service, I've always said if you don't catch me on the day before, seeing me that day before, you're not gonna see me at all. I don't want an open casket. I've never been that type to want that. I've always wanted a lot of music, a lot of dancing, a lot of good food because that's what I do. That's who I am, and I think that again, celebrating life the way that person wanted versus the way that you want it. Which, if I'm going to be absolutely real in our community, we do a lot of what we want instead of what the person asks for, which causes a bigger bill that you can't even afford. If you struggle paying your own bills, why are you wrecking up this one? Why are we having all these t-shirts made? Why are we having all these buttons made?
Hey, do not put me in don't put me in the clouds. I will haunt you. Yeah, listen. Don't put me in the clouds.
Please.
With a hat and hoodie. I will haunt you.
Ja, it's gonna be purple clouds.
What color the clouds? Don't do it. Please.
They're gonna be purple with a purple
piss
cut.
My ghost off. Don't do it.
Yo, ghost won't even be mad. You want to know why?
Yeah, all right.
Yep. Oh man, Ja, thank you for that. This man is crazy.
Yeah, Siobhan. Me in a hole, man. Toss me in a hole. Get it over with. Say your prayers and go on with your life.
Oh my God, the wings on the back is crazy.
Don't put no wings on me, man. My speech gonna hurt feelings. LOL. That's Nisi talking about my funeral. Her talking about my
Hey, let me tell you something. I'm gonna be there with my glasses sitting beside her.
The squinties in the front row. We gonna have a reserve space.
That's all I'm gonna say. If I see somebody pulling up, I'm just gonna be like,
we need the people that could see all up in the front, please.
Be like, go ahead. You got my purple fan. Go ahead.
I think about efficiency after death more than anything. My dad died 3 days before my first day of high school. Oh man, condolences, Gina. Now, as an insurance agent, I've had to deliver death benefit checks in person. And now, when I see people, I think about the people in their life I may interact with when they die. Oof. Yeah, so I see why you think about death on a daily, because insurance.
I guess my thing is, what do you do? How do you counteract that, right? You got to have, like for me, I don't like scary movies. I can watch a scary movie, but it's just not my preference. Because when I watch a scary movie, I absolutely have to watch something hilarious after. Otherwise, I'm just going to be stuck in the mood of the scary thing.
I call it a palate cleanser. Yeah.
Yeah. I need something to even me out because I can't do all that anymore. I'm.
Batty Shot O'Clock at Ja Repass, hosted by Raven.
Police.
My funeral wishes. I wanted jokes, tributes be about funniest and most fun situations with me. Instead of Bible verses and super churchy stuff, roast me. I want you to be able to laugh. And hey, we're not sitting you up in no chair or none of that, So I want you to be able to laugh and associate good memories. I want my funeral at night. I want everybody to dress well, black or white preferably. Do not put me on a t-shirt or put wings on me. I'm haunting you like a Jumbi if you do. When they put me in the ground, Vayo got to perform Jungle Live.
It's too much happening. He needs to hire somebody to carry out all these wishes, please.
Well, that's the idea, actually.
Don't do that to him, Marcus.
Two things I absolutely love to think and talk about are reflection and death. Great questions. All right. We gonna lighten the mood then.
Yeah, let's lighten it up.
We're gonna lighten things up.
You know what, Lord, because I already know what's coming next.
You do?
Is that really lightening the mood?
Isn't it? We got the apostle in here. We got to.
I'm sick of your stuff, but go ahead.
All right. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about which one to play. Should we go with Marvin Sapp or Gabby Faye? Which one?
Gabby, please.
Right.
Please.
We're gonna lighten it up. So y'all watch this video, please. Please watch this video and listen, because she goes from telling on herself to apologizing real quick.
I literally had to poop on someone's grave at one point because the party was really going on. There was literally nowhere else to go, and I had to go. So I literally had to crawl in a freaking grave crypt to like go number 2 because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I was literally stuck in the middle of the road with thousands of people everywhere. That was the only privacy I got, really. First of all, I never desecrated, disrespected, or did number 2 on anyone's personal gravesite, burial site with that tombstone, all of that. That did not happen. I should have been more clear in my other video. I was not giving context or details of what was going on.
No. Clarity isn't what's needed. Honesty is what was needed. Either you lied in the beginning for views, or you're lying right now with the apology. I honestly feel like a lot of y'all get on this app, say any old thing just for views. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. You know, bring back shame, bring back diaries, bring back journals, because you went to somebody else's country, you say Trinity in your blood or whatever. You don't live in Trinidad. You went there and you decided to poop on or around somebody's grave and then say that you were trying to hold yourself accountable at the end. No, you weren't. You weren't. You should have just apologized.
So we went straight from that serious talk to pooping on graves. Listen, don't let nobody poop on my grave if you have one. I mean, cremate me, but yeah. So Raven sent this in. She wanted to talk about this. Her name is Gabby Faye, and I hate this woman with a passion. She and the Lyft, like Dank DeMoss, are my number 2 public enemies. But go ahead.
I'm so disgusted. First of all, I want to let y'all know she was on the road masquerading with Yuma. Yuma had to make a post and say, we don't like what she did, and she will not be participating with us moving forward anymore. My problem is, at your grown age, you thought it to be smart to get on this internet, the place where you can't take it back. It will live on forever. You got on the internet and said while doing that makeup and my God, ma'am, blend for your life. Next, you decided to get on this internet space and say you pooped inside of a crypt while you were fetting? Are you insane? First of all, the disrespect. Second of all, it can never happen in St. Croix. It could never happen in St. Croix. The way that she would have been yanked out of her clothes would have been maddening. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. She said I went inside of the crypt.
Here's the problem. We don't know if she made that up, right? And then listen, if you don't know what the word gaslighting means, right? She did it because she told the story. Nobody asked her. Then she apologizes for lack of context, even though she provided the story and made it seem like we misunderstood her, or what we heard wasn't the truth, or whatever. Right? Like, how do you tell on yourself when nobody asks you nothing? Then you make it seem like we lied on you.
Please. You getting the attention that you didn't want. The makeup was hidden, you not hidden, the story was not hidden, and now you getting all that negative attention. Ma'am, no thank you. Negative 10 out of 10. Would not recommend to a single soul. No.
So you said she would get snatched out her clothes and
she would have got. Have you ever been on the road here? You know what? Even better place, St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
The road for St. Thomas, you're literally going by a cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if a St. Thomian saw her popping a squat to take a crap? Oh man. No. It's a hard no for me.
So, what in the comments? What do you think would have happened if she did that in St. Croix or St. Thomas? If she did that in the Virgin Islands, what do you think would have happened? Now,
she beat down and arrest.
I don't know if she even did it, or if she just made this story up for engagement and comments.
Investigator.
So go looking for poop on.
No. I'm not saying look for the poop, but what I am saying is sometimes people are not happy until they're embarrassed, and embarrassed in the worst possible way. You want to be embarrassed in the worst possible way. If the police would have gotten involved and they came after you, or you would have gotten banned from ever participating in Carnival again, you feel a type of way. So if you want to play that game and get banned for life, that's your business. But I just know who in a grown mind would think to get on the internet talking about I took a poop at a cemetery because I had nowhere to go. Are you kidding me?
I don't think y'all give content creators enough credit.
I don't want to.
If you don't believe that people will make a story up for engagement, likes, and views, knowing that they will get paid for the hate, then listen, I'm telling you.
I don't follow that mess. After I saw the story, I was just like, I'm flabbergasted, but I'm not going to follow her. I'm not going to give her an extra view. Like, I'm not going to go to her page and give her that. Like, I'm not doing that.
I've hated this woman to come out with that list of things that a man must do, which was years ago, to take her out, and it was ridiculous. And yet and still, she's still single and will go on a show and talk about wanting a man. Like, clearly it didn't work. And act your face, because you see what she looked like. And she's still single. She talking about how you got to pay for this and pay for her makeup and all of that, and she still don't know how to do it.
What I want to say is, just come. Just a little bit.
Exactly.
No, it's not enough.
They are real. Like, y'all, listen. People will say some stuff like so I posted about the guy who was at some children's party and he just found out that the 6-year-old isn't his and all of that. That very well may be a skit, but they're dragging it now, right? And I do post things for the conversation. I don't care if it's a skit or not. But some people post it just because it will get you talking. I want to have the conversation, not for likes and this and shares and all that. I want to talk about it. That's what Seeing Difference is about.
Hey, Job, but guess what? If people don't know your platform and they see that you've reposted the video, they can assume the same thing.
They can assume what they want. You
That's
get
your
what I'm
problem.
saying? Like
This is man problem.
they can assume what they want. Listen, I fully understand what I've signed up for. If you're a content creator and then like what she did there, you told that story unprompted. And because you didn't get like I don't know what she thought she was gonna get from that day. But then she turned around and like me, if I had posted about pooping on a grave, I would expect some problems.
You know what the gag is? I keep on thinking about how she was in. Hey guys, get ready with me as I tell you about what happened. I was at Trinidad Carnival, and I had to take a poop. What else was I supposed to do? So I went to this graveyard, and 1 second, guys, blending.
Let's run it back. Hey, Darren says we never cancel Kanye, so it only emboldens other people. Because too many people agree with Kanye. People are stupid.
I don't
people agree with Kanye.
Kanye's group is for the people who want they're like the people who say I hate everybody. I don't like my mom and my dad, even though I grew up in the suburbs and I had everything I wanted in my life. Like I just feel like that it's just a hard no for me. It's just a hard no.
We're gonna run this back because you gotta see the rage brush. The rage brush.
I literally had to poop on someone's grave at one point because the party was really going on. There was literally nowhere.
I'm sorry, I used the wrong thing. The party was really going on, guys.
It's how she started it off.
I knew I had to go. I knew I had to go to the bathroom, guys, but just know that I had to take a poop first. And I don't know at my grown age why I didn't go to the bathroom before I left out, knowing that I might have raging diarrhea. But I mean, hey, I am here to tell you guys about what I'm doing. So please subscribe to my channel if you want to hear part 2 about everything else that happened, because I'm not a bad guy. Just trust me. I hate it down so bad.
It's the fact that she said she had to. Like, this was a matter of life. She had to do it, okay?
I literally had to poop on someone's grave at one point because the party was really going on. There was literally nowhere else to go, and I had to go. So I literally had to crawl in a freaking grave crypt to, like, go number 2 because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I was literally stuck in the middle of the road with thousands of people everywhere. That was the only privacy I got, really. First of all, I never desecrated, disrespected, or did number 2 on anyone's personal gravesite, burial site with the tombstone, all of that. That did not happen. I should have been more clear in my other video. I was not giving context or details of what was going on.
No. Clarity isn't what's needed. Honesty is what was needed. Either you lied in the beginning for views, or you're lying right now with the apology. I honestly feel like a lot of y'all get on this app, say any old thing just for views. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Bring back shame, bring back diaries, bring back journals, because you went to somebody else's country, you say Trinity in your blood or whatever, but you don't live in Trinidad. You went there and you decided to poop on or around somebody's grave and then say that you were trying to hold yourself accountable at the end. No, you weren't. You weren't. You should have just apologized.
Here's the gag.
She said she had to like crawl.
So here's the other part of this too. Anybody like Trinidad of all the carnivals, Trinidad Carnival is so well put together. I refuse to believe that there were no bathroom stalls on the road around you.
Okay.
I refuse to believe it. Like that's absolutely positively not. And again, to your point, she said it out of her mouth, front and center. Yeah. She pooped, had to crawl into, which I wonder how that looked. Anyway, had to crawl.
Is my spirit animal enough. Like she'd be saying things that I've been. Internet, bring back bullying. Bullying works. And what her name is, Lizzo, is the perfect example that bullying works.
Is it bullying or is it shame that works?
No, bullying. Internet. Listen. There, I believe there is such a thing as like nice bullying, like heartfelt bullying. Because when Lizzo came out with that thing with her butt cheeks out and sat down at that LA game front and center, we needed to bully her.
Smaller girls do it too.
They should be bullied as well. Because why is your cheeks out and sit in front row and center anyway? Some people deserve to get bullied.
I agree that if it's inappropriate, it's just inappropriate. But I'm not going to say I believe in bullying.
I absolutely bring bullying back. That's Ja. Bring bullying back. She said she crawled in. She said she. Well, come on. Nobody asked you. No one.
Oh my gosh. The things that we hear on the internet, man.
Not the exact. That's the word. Thank you, Jerica. You always on point. Beneficial bullying.
No, sir.
Yes.
No.
Bring back bullying. Bring it back. Because there was a point in time. I'm from the old school. There was a point in time where somebody would say, "Hey, the earth is flat," and we was, "Shut up, Mark. Shut up."
But is that bullying? Is that bullying?
Somebody you shut sound up? Stupid, Mark. Shut up.
But is that done? That's not bullying though, to tell somebody shut up.
No, it would get worse because Mark would try to reason with you, and then we'd be like, Mark, look at Mark. Look at dumb Mark. Mark thinks that the earth is flat. Look at him going.
No, and this is when I gotta agree with Niecy. I'm Niecy's glasses and eyes because I'm hearing she's not. She said, "Ja, stop it."
Bring back bullying, man. Bullying needs to work. Bullying works. I'm sorry.
No.
All right. So we want to end the show on a positive note. Besides bringing back bullying, we have a message. This was also submitted by Raven, and we just want you to listen to the message, and then Raven, if you could explain what this means to you. We want to know what it means to you in the chat also before we close out.
Cool.
I just saw a quote that said, "When people fall in love with your flowers and not your roots, they don't know what to do when autumn comes." Damn.
I'm going to run it back because it was quick. I'm going to run it back one more time.
I saw a quote that said, "When people fall in love with your flowers and not your roots, they don't know what to do when autumn comes." Damn.
What does that mean to you?
When people fall in love with the version of you that they see and not knowing the depth of you, when you start to change and evolve and elevate, they don't know how to handle that because the only thing that they fell in love with was the version of you when they saw you. That's it. They don't know how to accept anything else. They don't know how to accept your depth. They don't know how to accept, when you're what is that called? It's certain flowers that when they'll come seasonally, right? Annuals, is that what they're called?
Or perennials? Is it perennials?
Yeah, like you turn around, you're burying them, and then after a certain time, after they've bloomed and they look beautiful, back into the ground for whatever's gonna come the next year, right? People don't know you when you just need to be in your selfish stage. They don't know you when you, like I said, you're in your evolving stage. So when they see that, they get scared, or they're just like, "Oh my God, I don't want what change looks like. I just want her as is. I want this person as is." And I feel like that's nuts.
That was a very deep, as Adrena said, that was quick and deep. Pause. Yeah. So that was very deep. It was to the point, and it hits hard because too often you fall in love with what you can benefit from. The flowery stuff that smells sweet, you can carry it around and looks nice. Some people use other people as arm candy, right? But what about the rest of you? What about the depths of you? Is that really love even? Like we say we love flowers, we love roses, then why do we destroy them by picking them? These are things that we really should be considering.
Yeah. But we don't, because we're selfish. People are selfish.
Facts.
They want what benefits them. So, yeah.
I think this was a great episode. Thank you so much for coming through and filling in. As always, the Apostle be killing it, man. But we got to go. We got to go. So I don't know if Niecy gonna be in town next Sunday. Are you available next Sunday or no?
If my girl is not available next Sunday, I got you next Sunday.
That's what's up. Sometimes people are in love with the idea they have of you, not the real you, the total package. It's true. Or they might fall for what they see and not be ready for the rest of you. Like, that's why we have to take time, get to know people, man. Nisi says she appreciates you filling in. Some people only have interest in sharing the fruit and flowers and prefer solitude during transition.
True.
I've fallen in love with flowers before. When fall hit, it was way different. I think we all have.
Mm-hmm. True story.
Right. What's your final words? Can you tell us what we gotta say before we close up?
Final words from this episode is have a plan. Have a plan. Know what you want to do. Make those wishes known. Find peace and let peace follow you. I'm not playing with Nisi. Nisi. Anyway, let peace follow you. I pray that all of you have an amazing, amazing week and that you do something kind for somebody else. Make 3 people laugh, make 2 people smile, and do something kind that they can never do in return. There you go.
All right. As for me, you see it scrolling down bottom. Tune in live on YouTube at the VI_very_own and Same Differences Facebook or 101.3 Raw FM Facebook page. You can share the live. Please share the live, please. We want other people to join the conversation and find out about a different day, as well as 101.3. We want as much people following us so we can spread the message. Raw FM is one thing I could say about Raw FM. They're doing radio different.
That's right.
If you enjoyed this, tell someone about it. Let somebody know. I hope that we've brought some joy to your Sunday. I hope that we've made Sunday a little bit more enjoyable, something you can look forward to. I hope that we've maybe shared some love and some knowledge today. I think we did a good job. This was a great episode. Don't be afraid of death. Be more concerned with life. Life is out there and ready for you to live it. Live it to its fullest. Express your emotions in all of their entirety. Learn how to get in touch with self first before you go seeking any relationships or fulfillment in anyone or anything else. Stop and smell the roses. Take some time out to live. All right? But this has been another great episode of A Different Day with Ja and
Ray.
Love you guys. Peace.
Have a good one.